most polluted place on planet Earth. This here is not fog. This is air pollution. That is all smoke. I was having a hard time breathing. I was coughing really hard. This air pollution is no joke. We're gonna try to understand what it's like to live under this. It's not like hard to breathe, but I don't know how to explain it. You kind of feel it. It's literally dangerous to inhale the smoke.
Sky is a representation of how much fire is around right now. The air quality is so bad because it's like chemicals in the air from the burning.
It gets so hot, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit here.
It's not nice to live in a space where literally the air you're breathing in, you know, isn't good for you. You know, I could feel it in my head, like my sinuses were really sore, my ears were really blocked, like I felt like my head was in a bubble.
Once the burning season begins, no people at all.
Yeah, no people.
No business.
You have to shut it down. So that pretty much puts an end to our business for, 3 to 4 months out of the year. No, this is bad, man. I mean, this is really bad. When you have the air quality index jumping up to 800, you struggle every year to get by, and then this just getting worse and worse and worse. It's really tough, turning away hundreds of clients. That's a lot of money.
The fires are on the street, on the road.
Wow. This is worse than I expected. Kind of somber way to start the video today, folks, but welcome to the most polluted place on planet Earth at the moment. I'm in the northern town of Pai in northern Thailand, outside of the major city of Chiang Mai, close to the border of Myanmar, or Burma. And this here is not fog. This is air pollution. This is smoke from fires. Both wildfires and man-made fires that are spreading throughout the entire region. In Myanmar, in Thailand, Laos, and even northern Vietnam, there are wildfires raging and man-made fires raging. I was warned before coming to Thailand that this is the time for the burning season here in this part of the world. And I could have never expected what I've been seeing and what I've been learning in the last couple days. For the last 3 years, the city of Chiang Mai, which is just around 2 hours away from here, has been consistently rated with the worst air pollution in the world for weeks at a time. And I think the same case is happening now in 2023. I hate to be vlogging with a mask on, but this is an N95 mask, the same that we used during the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's actually one of the only masks that sort of reduces some of the harm effects that happen with this air quality. By downloading an app to kind of look at the air quality, and it's literally hazardous to your health. I don't really understand the point system so well, but it's got a over 600 to 700 point system on some days here. Since I got here yesterday, it's been ranging around the 500 mark. The warnings basically mention to you to not do any physical activity outside, not to exert any force. And I actually did go for a run yesterday morning, early in the morning in Chiang Mai, and I thought I was gonna die when I got back from the run. I was having a hard time breathing, I was coughing really hard. This air pollution is no joke. I have never in my life experienced anything even remotely similar to this. And I've lived in big cities like Manila and New York. I've visited Tokyo. I've been in Mexico City. I've been in LA. I've been in places with horrible smog. But this I have never seen. There is a fresh fire smell in the air at all times. Throughout the evening, it gets a little bit better as it clears out. But here early in the morning, it's around 7 a.m. It is just horrible. It is so bad. Just look at that. That is all smoke. And because we're high up in the mountains in Thailand right now, early in the morning, it's still somewhat calm. The temperatures are nice. But during the afternoon hours, it gets so hot, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit here. It gets in the upper 40s Celsius. It is hardcore. It feels like a desert. It's hard to breathe. It's hard to walk around. And I've only been here for around 48 hours. So today, this video is not going to be about me. We're not going to get into if this is right or wrong. It's kind of hard to breathe with this mask. I forgot what it's like to walk around with a mask. But what we are going to do is we're going to introduce you guys to people who live here. We're going to talk about their stories. And we're going to try to understand what it's like to live under this. And I want to make it very clear, this is not a commentary on Thailand or the people here or anything to do with that. This is strictly me trying to understand how people exist with this crazy phenomenon that happens every single year for months on end. So let's dive into it. Also, not to be overly dramatic, there's tons of people who are living just fine. I've almost completely cut out the use of drone footage in my videos as of recently. This is one of those rare instances where I really feel it's necessary to put it in to show you guys what this looks like from above. Okay, so tell me, because I woke up today in the morning and I thought it was the end of the world. I thought it was the apocalypse. What is actually going on in the sky? Like, what are we looking at here?
Oh, that is the result of forest fires where supposedly they are burning the crops to make it like the quickest way to like regrow the crops, to be able to farm quicker. There's other stories that they export a certain type of mushroom that grows through the ashes, and so a lot of places that are owned by whatever companies are burning tons of places so that the mushrooms will grow through the ashes. But, you know, it's gone on such a large scale now between the different Asian countries around here that the sky just is a representation of how much fire is around right now.
What we're inhaling actually, like what all this smoke is, all this haze, this is like smoke from a fire, right?
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how has this affected you? Because you've been living in this, like you've just been...
Yeah, I mean, my life right now over the last weeks is definitely not the way that I would want it to be. Yeah, not the way that I want it for my son, because like we're indoors a lot. Like he said, it was like apocalypse this morning. And the air quality is so bad because it's like chemicals in the air from the burning, from like the pesticides they use in the crops, and you know the whole backstory of it. It's not safe to be outside, you know, so I'm spending so much time indoors. Like we're doing a lot of like crafting and activities with my toddler. It's not nice to live in a space where literally the air you're breathing in, you know, isn't good for you.
Right.
And so it's like, it's definitely restricting a lot of my life.
Yeah, it's actually very eerie, and I can't imagine like the psychological effect of knowing that you shouldn't really be outside.
Yeah.
Like what that could have on your
It gets
mind
me
and
questioning my reality right now, questioning my life choices, like questioning, like feeling guilty why I'm choosing to be here with my son right now. Like I usually go somewhere else for smoky season, and so choosing to be here now, has sent me through those like psychological things of like what am I doing here? And I trust, and it's okay, like we're here, we're getting through, but long term and over years and years, I don't think it's something healthy at all for anyone, you know. And I do have the fortunate thing of air purifiers in a sealed house, but there's like a lot of the local people here who live in like open wooden houses that don't have any protection from any of the smoke, you know.
we're just crossing this kind of sketchy bridge. I've lived in Southeast Asia for enough to know that bamboo is strong to hold us up.
It does wash down every year, but
oh really? They rebuild it every year?
In the rainy season it gets washed away.
I was thinking that today when I was crossing that one. I was like, I'm sure that this thing goes away during rainy
there's
season.
a time of year where you can't get to these guest houses, you have to drive around.
Oh really? And I wanted to show also like the air quality. It has significantly reduced. When we looked at this in the morning, it was almost 700, so it's 198 now. We've changed from hazardous to very unhealthy to unhealthy. I mean, it's obviously still not healthy to be outside, but I felt more comfortable also doing this with Aura when the weather's a little bit more normal. Like, this is still horrible. Everything around us is very hazy, but you can at least kind of see out into the mountains now. Early in the morning, this was completely covered. You couldn't really see any of this. It's insane to me that people are living under this. I just don't understand how it's been going on for so long. Like the fact that people are just tolerating living under smoke for 6 months at a time or 5 months at a time. And I'm curious for you to share with me, like this isn't the first time you've experienced the smoky season.
No.
Or the burning season. What was it like for you the first time you experienced this, if you recall?
Yeah, so the first time I can remember really it affecting me was back in 2020 when I got stuck here during COVID. And I was a new mom. I had a 3-month-old son. And I lived in like a Thai wooden house where I only had shutters on the windows, and so I had to close the shutters and be like inside, not knowing if it was like day or night outside, you know. So that was really, really challenging for me, and I said that I would never do it again. And for whatever reasons, this year I convinced myself that it wasn't that bad. But this year is definitely worse than I feel like it has been. But yeah, first experiencing it back in 2020 in that intensity was like unhealthy physically, mentally, all the things.
And when you say worse, like I've read about it a little bit, like you can only imagine what health effects come through it. And we're definitely in this video going to be talking to a lot of people who have been actually suffering like ailments from all of this. But what have you felt personally? Have you felt any sort of illnesses or anything?
Yeah, I definitely, like a few months ago when it first got really intense here, I could feel it in my head. Like my sinuses were really sore, my ears were really blocked. Like I felt like my head was in a bubble. and I was blowing my nose like every 10 minutes for like a good few weeks. It really lasted, and that all of a sudden overnight cleared up, and I've been okay. So I don't know if like your body gets used to it or what, but I've seen it affect people in different ways, with like itchy eyes, like runny eyes, like zapping your energy. Like it seems to affect people in different ways.
Maybe you like grew a third lung or something.
Maybe.
You just filtering all the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this town is so beautiful from what I'm seeing. Obviously, I can't see it in its entirety, and Aura was telling me that we're actually surrounded by mountains right now. We're in a valley, which I had no idea. Yeah, I drove up here. I didn't even get to see it. Like, I'm just starting to kind of see the surrounding now, but even now, I don't think I'll ever be able to see the full extent of this place while I'm up in Pai. But it is so beautiful, and the fact that there's like these cool little rivers that pass through, and there's tourists really embedded in the soul of the town. Like, it really is a tourist town that has a lot of potential for, I think, places like this. When I see them, it's like these can be hubs for sustainability, especially in the future, because you're living somewhat integrated into the nature. It's not a massive town. When people come here, especially foreigners, they can learn lessons about how to live more integrated with nature and sustainably. But you have this massive contradiction, which is the sky being full of smoke. And I don't know what kind of outlook that gives to the people who live here. Like, do you have sort of any hope or outlook on how this gets better, what we would like to see change? Or
I mean, I want to, of course, I want to have that hope and the change. The years that I've lived in Thailand, it does seem to have gotten worse. And this being like the worst year that I recall.
this year being the worst year?
Yeah, this year being the worst for sure.
Lucky me.
Yeah. But like, I want to have hope, of course. Like, I'm saying I want to, and maybe that's because it's not there right now. I don't know, like it does make me question like humanity right now, because like we're living in this because of what humans are doing right now. Like, this isn't a natural thing. Like, this is what people are purposefully doing, and so you'd hope that it gets to a point on a large scale that people realize that that's not the case. But who knows who has that power? I don't know. God, being just like someone who lives here, it does feel a little bit hopeless, I'm not gonna lie, especially when you're in the middle of it. You know, when you're far away, like, you can't really believe how smoky it is. And even people who live here who aren't here right now are like, oh, I'm sure it's not that bad, but then it really is. So it does feel a little bit hopeless when we are here, to be honest. But I would like to hope that, yeah, even in humanity as a whole, that we wouldn't continue doing this to the world.
I met Aura through a Facebook group of locals who live here in Pai, and I appreciate you so much taking your time out of your day. Like, she's a complete stranger. We just met right now. Like, and this is what the theme of this video will be, is just meeting the amazing people that are living here. So I appreciate you so much. Make sure you go check her out down below in the description. We'll leave a link to it. You teach yoga here, right? I
teach yoga. I support women through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum is like my main thing. Like,
amazing.
Supporting women to trust in their bodies and their journey.
So if you come to Pai, maybe you can connect with her the way that I've connected with her. It's super, super cool. And thank you. We'll see you around. All right, so it's just around sunset time here in Pai. The air quality is slightly improved today, just a little bit. It wasn't as bad as yesterday. We're gonna go over now and get a little bit more of a local perspective on how this burning season and all this smog and air pollution is actually affecting the locals of Pai. I've rented a little bike, which is what I'm using to ride around here. And something I noticed, even just as a personal thing, I've ridden bikes around a lot of places around the world. I've never ever dealt with a situation where, like, riding like this without a mask and glasses, your eyes just swelter and burn. It's kind of crazy. And my head, this is my 3rd or 4th day here in Pai now, and my head has been hurting all day. I've been drinking water, I've been eating good, but my head has just been in a lot of pain. I'm assuming it has something to do with the smoke. Last night too, I saw them burning a fire right here on this mountain. I'm hoping to try to catch it tonight, because I missed it yesterday on camera, but it was a pretty massive fire. And so when we woke up in the morning, the air pollution was so bad. But yeah, this is just what it looks like here in the back roads of Pai, just by the farmland. All right, so we've come down to a restaurant called Two Sisters. This is the wonderful owners, Pin and Ni. They also speak a little bit of Hebrew, huh? You guys know? 5% Hebrew. I joined a Facebook group here in Pai where the local transplants who live here have been recommending to me people to speak to. So Pin, the owner of Two Sisters, was one of the people that I was recommended to sit down and have a conversation with, specifically about how this burning season is affecting their business, their restaurant, and the tourism. First of all, can you tell me a little bit about your business, about Two Sisters? What is this?
Now week, no have people.
No have people 1 week.
Only one day maybe 10 people, 15 people now.
And you here is restaurant?
Yes.
Only restaurant?
Yes.
No guest house, no. Okay. How many months you have burning season?
Maybe 3 months.
3 months. Do you feel any health problem?
Yeah.
What, coughing in the lungs, pain, anything?
yeah.
Yes. What do you want to see happening with the burning season?
Raining season. Raining season better.
Burning season. And in Songkran, finish?
Sometimes little bit people.
Little bit people. But once the burning season begin, no people at all.
Yeah, no people.
No people at all. No business. For how many months?
So some people, maybe everything go Chiang Mai.
Everyone goes Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
So Pai empty.
Little bit.
No people. Okay, so this is Pin's husband. So can you tell me a little bit about your restaurant, about Two Sisters? What is the restaurant here? What do you guys serve? What kind of food?
Food, Myanmar food.
Myanmar food.
I have some Myanmar, Thai, Chinese, smoothie and coffee. Many people eat Myanmar food. It's original.
It's good. It's aloy.
Mea.
And what about? Can you tell me about the burning season and how it?
People come in by high season. Many people. And leading season 50%, low season 10%.
10%.
Yeah, for smoky season no good for people.
So hard for you guys to make money.
Make money little bit.
Little bit money.
Yeah, little bit money, not too much. Yeah.
How you survive during burning season? How you make money?
One day not too much. Maybe 2,000.
Okay.
2,000 maybe 2,000.
Very little money.
Yeah, little bit. Yeah.
And what about your health?
Little bit. Yeah.
Coughing,
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
Now, all the tourists they go south.
The south, yeah, many people go to south, yeah.
They come here, they leave, they go south.
Maybe many people, many come back.
In the rainy season.
Yeah, for your country many come back.
When the rainy season starts?
1.5 months.
1 more month.
Yeah, 1.5.
Thank you.
I don't know how much the message is conveyed, because the English it's hard to translate the English, but somebody from the Facebook group, Frederick, told me to come here. These guys are specifically like the refugees from Myanmar who came and moved here to Thailand. So the reason I wanted to put them on camera too is these are people who are trying to make a living here, feeding off the tourism, like growing with the tourism, and then this burning season that keeps getting longer and longer and longer every single year is affecting their life in more and more ways, right? Because before it used to be 2-3 months at the maximum. Now it's starting to become almost like a 6-month thing, right? From December almost till May. I think in June it doesn't happen anymore, but people are saying it's getting longer and longer and longer. And so this is one of those businesses that's being completely affected by it. I think everybody here. It's another early morning here in Pai. Take off my face mask just for a few moments. I actually kind of recovered from the headache I was suffering with yesterday. It's gotten a little better, but it's definitely still there. And I wanted to come out here to show you guys what the town of Pai actually looks like during this low smoky season. As you can tell here on this drawbridge, and I don't know, the camera I don't really think does a great job at catching how bad the smoke actually is. And it's definitely a little bit better today compared to the other days. It's not like hard to breathe, but I don't know how to explain it. You kind of feel it, and it just always smells like there's a fire, slightly. I think in the early morning hours, nobody's out, and I really try to keep my face mask on being here, because I know it's definitely more smoke, more pollution in the morning. So I'm trying to keep my my mask on for the most part here in the morning. But yeah, I feel like this spot always kind of gives a good indication of how bad it really is, because you can kind of see, the smoke going that way, and definitely on this side. It's really bad on this side. You can see a lot of smoke out here. But yeah, I wanted to show off what the touristy part of town looks like during this low season. I'm just going to take a brisk walk with you guys and show you guys some of the coffee shops, restaurants, cafes. Again, early morning, everybody kind of avoids being outside because we have these warnings on our phones that say don't be outside because it's literally dangerous to inhale the smoke. Thought it would be cool to show this off because I've only shown you guys so far sort of the back roads, the farmland area. This is sort of the entrance of the main touristy part of town, where there's lots of coffee shops, cafes, massage places, weed shops, hotels, Airbnbs, hostels, things like that. And early morning, it's fairly quiet. Well, you can see there's a temple here, a local temple. Some of these coffee shops and restaurants are just sort of opening up for the day and get ready for some of the local tours. Like there's some rafting tours here, but again, even when it does get full, and I've been walking around and you do see it get full. the town does fill up with tourists. People renting bikes, driving around. There's always this ominous haze in the background. And it's so apparent. It's like every time you look up or look in the distance or anything, you just see this haze. All right, friends, so I'm in the middle of nowhere again. But this time pretty exciting. I want to introduce you guys to Eddie. What's up, Eddie?
How you doing, brother?
How you doing, man?
Welcome, man.
Where are we right now?
We are in a place called Lost.
Lost.
By Pai Adventures.
Ooh.
You are not going to find this on your own. Welcome. Come on in.
Here we are. Wow. This is super cool. What is this place?
This is actually a friend's house that we host different events here. We do trekking out of here for our adventure company. We do dinner parties out here ranging from hill tribe food to Jamaican jerk chicken, man. We cover it all. But we could bring out 50, 60 people out here and yeah, give them something different, a social gathering, not sitting at a bar in town, coming out here, experiencing a little bit of Thai culture and this amazing house.
Hi, friends, by the way. How you doing? And you run a company called Pai Adventures, right?
Pai Adventures.
So what's the affiliation between Lost and Pai Adventures? What is this?
Good friends.
Good friends.
Yep. So we partnered up with them. They wanted to make use of this place. They were doing some homestays. Just wasn't profitable enough given the location. This is a little bit out of town. So by partnering up with us, we have an adventure company, a good online presence, and we're always trying to give people new, unique experiences.
That's super cool. And this whole video is about the burning season, about the smoke, about the smog.
Yeah.
Eddie's actually the first person I met here. He gave me a lot of direction the first day, and we were only getting the chance to film together today. But yeah, I wanted to sit down with you and talk about this because I think you're going to be able to give us a lot of insight, especially for people watching the video. Like, it's so clear right now, just from where we're sitting, what we're looking at and the problem that we're dealing with here. But working directly in tourism, having a tour company like Pai Adventures and having this beautiful place, Lost, how much is this affecting you, all this smog and the smoke and the fires?
Well, I think, every business coming out of COVID's been struggling to get back up and started. Well, look, you can barely see that hill right there from all the smoke. So that means February, March, April, May, pretty much have to shut it down. We're a 5-star rated business, and I can't take you trekking in smoke like that and call it 5-star. So that pretty much puts an end to our business for 3 to 4 months out of the year. I don't know too many businesses around the world that can just close the doors for 3 or 4 months and survive. It's challenging, but we live in a place like Pai. It's beautiful the rest of the time of the year. We don't have smoke, and we all want to be here. People want to come here for vacation. We want to live here. But it's getting worse and worse and worse. And, I'm partnered up with a conservation group called Wild Response. They mainly do animal conservation, and we're going to look at trying to do some educational stuff here and combat this smoke, because it's what it comes down to, is education.
And obviously something that I've been talking to a lot of people about during this video is the health effects. I've only been here for 3 days, so I'm feeling minor effects. Like yesterday I had this ongoing headache all day that I'm assuming has something to do with the smoke. But like, what have you been feeling anything personally, friends, family? Like, what has it been like?
Everybody's sinuses. The smoke here, it's kind of like, I'm from Oregon, so we have the hay fever season and the allergies. Here it's smoke. Congestion, everyone's a little bit lethargic because you're not getting good air. You're getting a lot of smoke. No, this is bad, man. I mean, this is really bad. When you have the air quality index jumping up to 800. I mean, that's worse than some of the largest cities in the world on their worst days. We've had that going for a few days now. So yeah, the having children here, it's just not a good thing. We're looking at, in the future with Pai Adventures, if this is going to continue to be a thing, closing it down for 3 months and going south. I don't want to breathe this. I don't want my guides to work in this. I don't want my son breathing it. And it's tough because you're a small family business. You struggle every year to get by, and then this just getting worse and worse and worse. So yeah, it's a tough one.
Like working on YouTube, being like head on in tourism all the time. I'm always working with amazing tour companies like yours, or tour guides, or hostels, or hotels, and learning about the constant struggle working in the tourism business. Besides this major pandemic that we just went through, and then you have something like this, and seemingly getting worse every year.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like, what's your outlook, man? Like, what's your hope? Like, what do you
How do you see, where do you see this going?
Well, if you look at the satellite imagery right now, northwest of Thailand, from Myanmar all the way around to Laos, it's on fire. A lot of what we're getting right here is coming from there. So I'm hoping, we've heard that the Thai government's looking at talking to the Laotian government, and maybe they can help, you know, put a stop to this or something. It's education. That's all it can. That's the only thing that's going to help is education. And if it's left to us on the ground, it's the slow way of doing it. We need the government to get on board. We need some mass action to put a stop to this, because, yeah, closing for 3 or 4 months. You know how many bookings I've had in the last 2 months that I've had to turn away? Tons and tons and tons. I bet you I got 100 bookings over the last 2 months for trekking that I've had to turn away.
And what do you say to those potential customers? You just...
I'm sorry, but due to the current smoke in the air in northern Thailand, we cannot facilitate your request. I'm sorry, but I can't take you trekking in that, you know, and that's tough. It's really tough turning away hundreds of clients. You know, most of those bookings are 2 to 4 people, you know, and that's 100 bookings in a couple months. It's insane. That's a lot of money that my family does not get now. And we have to find a way to supplement that income with it getting worse every year. It used to be 1 month. Now we're up to, 3 months? When's it going to stop? What are you going to tell these communities up here when their businesses are closing every year and they can't reopen? You know, they were very fortunate to make it through COVID. And now this.
Obviously, I'm not a part of this community.
Yeah.
Even though the last couple of days I feel like I've kind of jumped head in.
You're fitting right in, brother.
I live in a small island called Siargao, which is very similar in a lot of ways to this. But something that I want to point out, because I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of viewers who watch this and judge Eddie just for being a foreigner living here. Be like, oh, well, just go back to whatever country you came from. I just want to make a note, just to make a point about this, is like when you have somebody like Eddie struggling to make money here, right? Struggling to run a business. It's not just Eddie who's struggling. It's the Thai people who are employed by him. It's the business. It's the taxes. It's his wife who happens to be Thai. It's his kids who happen to be Thai as well. Now this is a cycle that's damaging everything. It's damaging everyone. While I don't want to give my personal opinion because I don't think it's warranted. I don't live here. I'm not part of this community. I can recognize from the outside that something needs to happen, because this is crazy that people are subjugated to live under this.
Well, I'd really hope that someone wouldn't say, if avoid a problem, just go home. And I've been in Thailand 17 years. I've been with my wife for 13 years. This is my home. You know, go back to my home. I live here. I think home's where we make it. And, you know, I left America to come here. I don't see me ever going back. So, no, I don't want to just say, well, yep, they have an issue. Let's just abandon them. And no, I live in Thailand. My son's Thai. He's grown up here. He's going to Thai schools, Thai universities. No, we need to educate them. And it's tough. You know, I have 13 employees at the peak of Pai Adventures before COVID. The majority of them, all but like 3, are Hill Tribe people. When, you know, Pai Adventures has been really good to them. We pay them very well. And then, then they go out and struggle for 3 or 4 months hunting and gathering. And, you know what the fact of the matter is, you know what they do to survive? Yeah, they're out there burning stuff. That's what they do. You know, they don't have many other options, and they don't know any better. And if we all just say, screw it, let's go home, then we're not helping anybody. You know, then the problem just keeps going, whether it's deforestation, whether it's animal conservation. If we don't teach and train and educate, we're doing everyone a disservice. I hope nobody out there thinks that I should just go home, because I am home, and I'm going to help I'm going to help this place, help the people with education, and by leading, you know, by example. So I'm digging in. I'm going to find a way to help fight this.
And going in deeper.
But I may have to go south for 2 or 3 months, because, I mean, you've been here, dude. You've seen how bad it is. It was intolerable.
No, it's unreal. It's actually, I've said this on camera multiple times during this video. I've never experienced anything like this before. This is unbelievable. But on a lighter note, I mean, you gave us probably the most beautiful interview in this video so far. But, like, I'm curious, like, people who want to support you, they watch the video, they see, okay, how can I support this local community? How can I support the company? Tell me a little bit more. How can people get in touch with Lost, with Pai Adventures?
Pai Adventures is on most platforms, social media wise, Facebook, Instagram. Haven't done the TikTok yet. I'm not quite the TikTok guy.
We're talking about it. He's gonna get there. He's gonna get
We're
there.
gonna get there, man. I've actually been showing you some videos. This is a new thing for us, Lost. I created this. I don't like to copy anyone else's tours. My wife, now we'd rather come up with something new, battle through it, make it original. So this is an original idea, original concept that has taken a bit to get off the ground, but with a little bit of time and recovering from COVID, this is going to be quite popular moving forward. This place is amazing. Private dinner parties. If you want to do events here, you can contact Pai Adventures, hold of us, and we'll talk about, you know, doing events here and stuff like that. Yeah, we'd love to do trekking out of here, hidden hot springs. Yeah, and then you guys can get on Pai Adventures website and see all the other cool stuff that we do, YouTube videos and stuff. But yeah, this is the new thing right here. So come check us out.
And I'll leave links in the description below to everything that Eddie's got going on, especially with Pai Adventures and with Lost, so you guys can get in contact with him directly. But I really appreciate you taking me out here, man.
Hey, man, it's great to have you, and I hope to see you again. And I'm going to come visit you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm going to definitely have to come back to Pai when the weather and the smog is not here. I want to experience this place for
Dude,
real.
We'll take you rafting and stuff. It'll be on the house, man. You just come over and say hi.
That's awesome, man. So I just got dropped off by Eddie and his wife in the middle of Pai town again. And as you can see, that is the first bit of blue sky I've seen since I arrived here in Pai, because it actually just started raining for the first time since I got here. A little bit of rain. Apparently the water level of the river has risen a little bit, and there's a little bit of rain coming down right now. There's just some drops hitting my hand. And so the sky's clearing up. I'm really hoping that a storm rolls in tonight. And then tomorrow morning, I can show you guys what this town looks like, clear of smog, because it apparently will be amazing. As I've been in touch with the local community here, I also got the direct line of contact with the head of tourism police here in Pai. And this is what he said. He didn't have any representative that could come on camera because he's afraid that the data will be lost. This is coming from his words exactly. But he told me the smog or forest fires occur every year during the months of March to mid-April in northern Thailand. These are caused by forest burning, which is the belief of some villagers who believe that burning the forest to burn dry leaves in order to collect wild food more easily, such as mushrooms, wild vegetables for living, and this concept is illegal, that the government tried to arrest many offenders. There is also public relations to the public and tourists. Wear a mask and avoid working or exercising outdoors. That's the only sort of official statement I can get for you guys. I wanted to have him on camera, but he's not in town right now. There's no other representative that's willing or able to talk to me. That situation aside, tomorrow's my last day in Pai. I'm coming down off the mountain to Chiang Mai tomorrow in preparation for the Thai New Year of Songkran. I'm thinking that this rain might be able to give us an amazing look at what Pai actually looks like without all this pollution and smog. The levels of pollution have dropped immensely throughout the day. We're at 180, which is the lowest it's been since I got here, which is actually kind of amazing. So we're gonna go to sleep. We're gonna wake up tomorrow morning, and hopefully we've got a beautiful, somewhat sunny, less cloudy day, and we can kind of show you guys the view of what this town should look like without the crazy air pollution. So let's see you tomorrow. So it's the next day, and unfortunately the sky never got any better. There's still quite a bit of burning going on. But we're driving now from Pai to Chiang Mai, and I wanted to show off. We're actually seeing my first time during the day an active burning site that's producing tons of smoke. We're just here on this mountain road. You can see this massive swath of forest that's been burnt here. This looks to me like a man-made fire. It looks very controlled. You know, you can see kind of like the border of it where it starts and ends, as well as back there. I'll zoom in for you guys to be able to see. But there's actually an active burn going on there, and a pretty active one going on down here as well. So you can see the fire down there. Burning all that forest going up in flames down here as well. So as much as we're clearing out of Pai and the sky is getting slightly more blue, you know, it's not as overcast as it was before. It's still very clear to see that there's tons of fires going on, lots of burning, but this is the most active site of the fires that I've seen yet on this whole trip. It's very much apparent that the burning is happening in real time. Okay, so now we're getting really up close and personal with the fires. Look at these. So maybe you can pull out and film it from the window. Look how close we are. They're literally on the street. The fires are on the street, on the road. Wow, that's crazy. So you can see firsthand how it's happening. And I really hate to take away from all the beauty of Thailand, but we're here stopped up at a really high viewpoint, which in any other context would be absolutely beautiful, and it is beautiful. But you can see
the forest fires there and there, and just how much smoke. Again, it's getting better the more we drive, but there's fires there, there's fires there, there's fires there. There's fires all around us at the moment. We spoke about this in other parts of the video already. Not all these fires and all this smog is being caused just by fires in Thailand. A lot of them are also coming from over the border in Myanmar and in Laos. But when you look over to this side of the cliff, you can see it's apparent. There's been some major burning just over here. All these banana trees are like wilted and dead. Man, it's an ongoing issue, and it's really sad because like with all this beauty that's going on, the view is only, I would say, 50% of how amazing it actually can be. Breathing all this in is definitely not good, but you can really see it over here. So here Simcha pointed out this crazy burning that happened on this side of the mountain. You can see this is very much a good example of a controlled burn where they've only burnt the section that they've wanted to burn, but you can't see like the very alive, green, lush side of the mountain there. All is dead. What I've been told, there's a good chance that like when they finish burning this, there's these mushrooms that sprout out after the first rains. They're able to collect them, but you can see how far the burn has gone. It's even come up to this part of the street, and just imagine how much smoke must have been bellowing out of this, like coming onto people who live here and the house is there. It's crazy. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't record an outro for it in Thailand, but yeah, this burning season thing is pretty crazy, and I'm kind of shocked by the whole thing. Anyways, I'll leave links down below in the description to everybody we collaborated with in this video. You can get in contact with them there. If you're interested in learning more about them or hearing more of their story, or if you want to just connect with them directly, I'll leave links down below in the description. Please become a member on the channel. It goes a long way to supporting me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you a long time. Goodbye.